Oh, hi. Sorry,
Hello!
it's Andrew here. Sorry, I was just chilling, waiting.
I'd kind of jump scared me for a second.
Apologies, didn't mean to.
No, it's all good. I just want to apologize if you hear a bunch of background noise. I'm currently at a event and streaming from there.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, no, I expect. Listen, I was in a room full of a bunch of people today with tons of noise the whole time. I totally sympathize. Yeah, let's. Yeah, no worries at all.
Okay, good. Well, hello. I'm kind of nervous. No, I hope you guys enjoyed the reveal as much as we all did today. It was really awesome to see.
Yeah, yeah, this has been a long road for us. Like we obviously announced the game a while ago and it's been a minute and I'm on the gameplay team. Oh, by the way, my name's Andrew Andrew Witz. I'm the gameplay director on the game. So it's been a long road since that trailer came out, and we
Yeah.
know that everyone has been very, very interested in checking out all of the gameplay. And so now we just get to show it to the world and start the conversation with you all with the alpha and everything else.
Yeah, definitely exciting. I agree, yes. Am I allowed to ask you some questions? I think so.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's why
Oh,
we're
let's
here.
go. Okay. Well, I was talking with some people in my community, and what is like some of the biggest things everyone would like to know, including me. And one of them would be if you were to play solo and you launch a lobby, would you play against other solos, or would it be teams and solos and duos all combined?
You would be opting out of crew fill and crewing by yourself, and so you'd be matched with other crews, like other players that could be, either duos that opted out or trios that are full teams. And so the intent is that players have the choice to kind of get in there and essentially do like farming runs or like challenge runs for themselves, where they're gonna go in solo. And we test this a lot, actually. Like, I know I myself and others, like, we're kind of the constant, like, hey, there's full servers for the next like couple hours, and I will choose to go out of crew fill and just like go solo. And I'm here to report the rat life is very real and it's very good, and you can eat really, really well if you have some map knowledge and game knowledge. So
Hmm.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
it's totally viable still.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, that brings me to my next question, which is anti cheat. I know there's a bunch of cheaters in any game, to be honest. And I know a lot of people are curious to know if you guys are working on trying to prevent any kind of cheaters to enter the game.
We're so making this game, like, we made a huge investment into dedicated servers because that's kind of what players expect, right? And
Right.
then we had a very big investment into security and anti-cheat. And so that's why we have things, we do have an anti-cheat, we have an anti-cheat dude, like a security team here, and we also had a large investment into a feature that's called Fog of War, which is essentially like it obscures like the location of other players on each client. And so like to kind of help with the cheating issue in terms of like knowing where other players' locations are. So yeah, we're investing a lot into anti-cheat and into the overall cheating problem. I mean, the landscape changes kind of constantly in online games, right? In terms
Hmm.
of whatever's kind of going on. And so we're having a lot of really good conversations on the regular around the cheating or anti-cheat, like, kind of like space and security. Where our It's one of our top things that are top of mind, and we go to bed at night, is really about making sure we have a secure environment for players. So yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
investment.
Okay, no, that actually sounds really good. I mean, cheaters kind of exist in all kinds of games because they always seem to find a way. But it's good to know that you guys are really trying to work towards it and making a big priority out of it, to hopefully prevent as many cheaters as possible. Oh, have you played older Halo games?
Yes, yes, I have.
Okay, I personally have not. And a lot of people were having talks about TTK, and there seems to be. They wanted to know if it feels similar to the older Halo games or if it's not as slow, I think, and faster as a TTK. Oh, I don't know too much about it because I haven't played the older Halo games.
No worries. Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about time to kill, like, there's a few things that we're considering on the team a lot, which is like precision damage and how that's a precision like headshot damage, right? Like precision damage and how that contributes, and a bunch of like gear status, right? Like what gear folks have. And so I'd say we have a more variable TTK. Like Halo's time to kill is kind of consistent because you have the shield pop and then you damage the rest of the body.
Hmm.
And so there's not too much like headshot precision damage and stuff like that.
Okay.
So for us, we do have that, and so we are going to be more variable.
Oh wow.
That being said, we're not trying to have an overly prolonged time to kill because it can result in players who are not as geared not being able to clutch and like two in 1v2, right? And that's super important in this game, is being able to 1v2 and 1v3. If you like know what you're doing, you have great positioning and some good aim skill and maybe like a well-placed grenade. And so that's the thing that we're kind of thinking about a ton, is being able to clutch, making sure that not the rich don't just keep getting richer, or like
Oh
rich in
yeah.
terms of how geared they are, right? And so
Right.
yeah, that's how we're thinking about it right now. So I'd say I wouldn't compare it to Halo personally. I think we're kind of trying to strive for our own kind of ingredient. I think this is going to
That's good.
be the most different in terms of time to kill for a Bungie game, just because we're more of a survival shooter than the rest of the games we've made.
That's good. I like that. Yeah, definitely going your own way. What about aim assist? Is there aim assist on mouse and keyboard and controller?
We have aim assist on controller, and then we have like a toggleable like minor assist that we have, the toggleable in terms of like turning it off, right? And essentially
Hmm.
what that's meant to do is not so much override skill. It's meant to kind of just be something where that combats kind of the raw input problem of mouse, right? Where it's just kind of like, just give a little bit of a floor, I guess, that's optional depending on what kind of player you are. If you have like a very good, mouse aim skill, like you can do, like you can totally succeed with that. And it also like the assist is, not something too crazy, right? Like how we're thinking about it philosophically, besides going in the weeds in terms of how much or anything, is that we really want to make sure that each input uh, each input, whether it be controller or mouse and keyboard, is rewards skill essentially. So we really don't want to lose the skill floor of the game because of that clutch issue, right? Like you really want to kind of
Yeah.
like make sure you can clutch, and you don't want to um, you don't want to compromise too much on like the depth of the game, and the game kind of maintain its depth in terms of skill fidelity. And so the texture of that is really important for us to maintain, so we don't have anything like a one one input paradigm is consistently the strongest. Like obviously controller players have more left stick movement fidelity that they can do, right? Because the
Hmm.
joystick just has more options than WASD. And obviously mouse and keyboard have right stick or just like aim superiority to the fidelity of the aim stick. And so they both have different pros and cons, which is kind of great as a designer. It's like it's always like an evolving problem.
Okay.
But we think we have a good recipe right now for honoring skills in either input scheme, but ultimately we're super curious to hear how people think things are going, and we're lucky enough to have really good technology here that's really old, like 20 plus years old in terms of like assist control and stuff like that, for us to change the status quo.
Okay, nice. I appreciate the explanation. Thank you. Um,
Yeah, no worries.
does there happen to be a plan of a PvE only mode to, I don't know, maybe get like have like a little loot run or something like that? Or I guess just any kind of PvE only mode?
There's no plan right now, and but I can kind of go into kind of like the PvE aspect of the game, because I feel as though sometimes folks who are unfamiliar with the genre are kind of like, hey, like this is a PvP mainly, right? And
Right.
like the PvE is kind of like just kind of there, and for us it's super important for us. I think it's because Bungie's had a long history of making compelling combatants or just AI to fight, and so we're we're really invested in that space. And the reason why it kind of exists is just the table stakes of the world, right? Like the best analogy that I can think of is, you know, there's the dragon that has its treasure hoard, right? Like it's like this, like or it's like this place that, everybody wants the dragon's treasure, of course, and you can fight over it, right? But ultimately, the dragon's there to defend its treasure, ultimately, right? And so that's what the PvE is. It's the table stakes of being able to fight the dragon to be able to like earn the gold, earn the gold of the loot that you get out of the match. And so we are spending a lot of time in making sure that there's activities that are PvE like skill checks in terms of how well you can like take out the UESC or the rest of our combatants. And so I'd say if that sounds appealing to you, then like we have that kind of those pieces of content there. It's just that you need to watch out for other players who may hear you doing that, or you may take advantage of other players like also doing PvE challenges, like trying to push into our region on one of our maps that's called bioresearch. And so that's kind of the I think that if that sounds interesting to you, I think that the game it's not this like 5v5 really high frequency PvP experience, it's like this paced, tense survival sandbox kind of experience where, you know, the PvE is killing players like as much of a regular cadence as the PvP is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we really wanted the combatants to be that challenge. So, yeah, I would say like we're not purely only PvP focused, despite we have PvP.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. I think that's also really good to combine it in that way. It's like not only do you have to watch for like the dragon or whatever objective you're doing, but also like the enemies around you. And I think that just makes it much more challenging and terrifying.
Yeah, like it's all about that story engine, right? Of the survival sandbox. And so like we have plenty of times where players, like where players are being chased by, an enemy crew, right?
Mhm.
And they actually run by a POI that has a bunch of UESC that don't see the folks that are running away and actually see their pursuers. And then their pursuers have to deal with the PvE, right? And so that's part of the storytelling engine of that recipe of PvPvE that really interests us here and makes it fun versus it's solely just like that just PvP only fight,
Yeah, yep. It makes every game also very different to each other because there's just so many things that can make it different like there's so many different kinds of situations that can happen.
Yeah. It's all about just that's like the beauty of the genre a little bit that it gets excited is that like you truly never know what's going to happen next in a good way, And so that makes the loot you get all the sweeter, right? And like the combat moments you have and the exfils that you get, or even sometimes the deaths that you have, like, still pretty entertaining, right?
Oh yeah, yes is yes. Are there plans for different maps? Are there plans for like different maps that could potentially have a different type of fauna, flora, or even like on a different planet?
We're very much still invested in Tau Ceti, like the Tau Ceti space. Like it's a big old planet to explore. So we're not looking at other planets or anything just yet. We're very much still like, looking at Tau Ceti a bunch.
Yeah.
But there's a never say never aspect of this, right? Like I think that right now we're offering a bunch of the mysteries of Tau Ceti, and who knows where it may take us from there. And also we have this other big thing floating on the orbit of Tau Ceti on the marathon ship, and so there's just a lot that I think we can play with right now. And then we have 3 maps right now, that 3 zones that we're kind of building.
Awesome.
And so you saw Dire Marsh, which is one of them
Yep.
today, like in the bit of the reveal.
Yep, that is awesome. Since there is going to be a type of matchmaking, I'm assuming is matchmaking like crossplay? Will it automatically put you in other lobbies with PC, Xbox, PlayStation, all of that? Or would it be specifically on whatever platform you're on?
It's crossplay. Yeah, we have crossplay and cross save, so the cross progression and stuff like that. with the Bungie account. And so yeah, you can tell you that, and there's not like sir, we're not like talking about too much of like the matchmaking tech too much, but what we are kind of talking about is like we are definitely much mindful of the new player experience so that new players don't just get thrown in with like the sharks, the 1,000-hour sharks and stuff. And so we're very much taking that into account in our matchmaking model.
Okay, cool. I have a personal question to you. What is your favorite character?
Oh, my team makes all the runners, so they're all kind of our children, I guess, over here. So I love them all. I'd say right now when I play the most is I think I'm playing Glitch the most right now. I kind of switch a bunch, but I think I'm kind of like really in find my groove with Glitch. So Glitch is kind of like our really like agile, like disruptor kind of character that, can shoot like has like an arm cannon that shoots like this knockback blast that's really handy for knocking people out of their extraction zones
Nice.
and forcing them to fight and fight and see what state they're in. Sometimes it goes well where they're injured and just trying to get out and like I have to take their loot. And sometimes it goes so poorly for me because they're actually super geared and they just wanted to do a quick contract.
Yeah.
But I think that's really fun. Also, the character has a power slide that like is really fun to do around corners. There's also like they have a double jump. I mean, who doesn't love a double jump in a video game? That's always great. And then their prime is pretty fun. It's like this amplified space that like allows them to kind of like really go super fast with this cool rainbow trail behind them that you can kind of glimpse out of your eye as you're
Yes.
being flanked.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's super fun. I mean, like I think that's one of the challenges making the game was just like how many like making sure that we make a bunch of good play styles that resonate with people and then also allow the loot to expand on those verbs so you can kind of make that character entirely your own, And so yeah, it's been super fun to work on.
That is awesome. No, yeah. Love how each of the characters work. Can more than one person be on the same character when you launch in?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
The assumption is that even though let's say the two of us are playing in a session, like even though we both may be playing Locust or Glitch, is that your Glitch may be spec'd entirely into like first shot advantage and going invisible when you're aimed down sight, and mine may be about just like triple jumping and just about being the fastest like character like I can possibly be.
All right, yeah, that's awesome. The reveal talked about that there's going to be, well, they said seasonal story. Would
Uh-huh.
there potentially be like, I'm assuming there's going to be seasons because they say seasonal story.
I think it's a good bet that we'll have seasons. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Would you be able to say how long a season would be, or what something a season could bring to the game?
I think we have a good idea right now. I think that we're trying to like figure out like the right amount of time for a season. Because there's obviously like we're gonna have wipes, of course, and we want to make wipes be meaningful and have that loot chase be really meaningful. So like get all the cool goodies over time and that feeling rewarding and the progression feeling rewarding and in each season. And so I think that we're not like we're gonna talk more about them later. We definitely have like a lot of thoughts and exciting ideas and a bunch of things in store, but I think we're trying to it's like the cake is almost being ready to put on the table, so to speak, for everyone to kind of like know. And so I can talk a bit about kind of like how we're thinking about it, but not exactly like it's going to be exactly this all the time.
Okay, yeah. So I know weather. There's different kinds of weather in the game. From the reveal, you could see there is fog, there's wind, there's storms. Could it randomly be a storm cloud above your head at some point?
We've been looking at this a bunch. Is like weather in general. We definitely we've been looking at how much dynamism we want in a session where we don't want players like looking around too much like outside of the map for like like checking what the weather is going to be, so to speak. But yeah, the map that we do have some changes that can happen. We do have changes, I should say. But when you're in a storm, you're gonna feel like you're in a storm, right? And so like when the rain is that we have like light rain, we have heavy rain. The heaviest rain is like
Ooh.
it's hard to hear. Like it's really tense because it's hard to hear exactly what's like beyond your POI that you're in.
Oh,
And so
yeah. Ooh.
yeah, and then we have like some things we're doing where like when you're out in the rain, you don't have you don't overheat as often because you're in like it's raining, and similar when you're in water and stuff. You can be struck by lightning. I don't suggest it that you get like I suggest that if you're looting a box out in a thunderstorm that you don't stand out there too long. Um, it doesn't one shot you or anything, but it definitely EMPs you, and which essentially gives you a linger effect that's pretty brutal. All of our linger effects are pretty brutal to push you into the consumable game. So yeah, we want weather to be meaningful in this game for sure.
Love that. That's amazing. People are saying, I think I'm okay getting struck by lightning.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it happens. I mean, like, we definitely tell you when you're gonna like when a lightning strike is gonna happen, but we don't. But you have to look for it, right? Like, we really want you to be mindful of what's going on. We don't want it to be something where it's pure random chance, just kind of happens, and so you'll see this like. You'll see like a bit of like electricity sparking on the ground before the lightning actually hits. But sometimes when you're in a container, you don't really pay attention to those things because you're looking at all the sweet loot and you're trying to like figure things out. But yeah, that we've had some funny moments where someone's been like half health and they've been in a container too long out in a storm and they get hit by lightning and you have to go and revive them.
Can mods be taken off weapons that have been looted?
They can. We're basically still in the alpha. We have a system where swapping actually deletes the underlying mod. We've had some early feedback around that, and we're creating an alternate system already that is like we're going to be testing out a bit later. But we essentially just want things to have a cost. But we think that we've already heard some feedback that the cost can be a little bit too high, and so we've been looking at alternative strategies as well. But yeah, like yes, like you can swap mods. You can't remove mods. Sorry, you can't remove them, but you can swap them.
Okay. Yep. Will there be different aesthetics for like characters or weapons or like camos or well, I guess the Destiny term would be ornaments, but like camos, different looks or anything like that for runners and weapons?
Right now
I
we're
don't understand that.
we're really focused on building out the base sets. Like everything we've shown even for alpha is not the full deal yet. But we do know that ever since we've shown off a bunch of these character designs and the weapons, people are kind of interested in terms of expressing themselves and having like full expression in there. And so I think I would stay tuned for what that looks like at a later time. But we know that people are very interested based off of everything we've seen. I know that people really love the cat. I know people are asking for cat skins and cat business. Yeah, like I know that there's a lot of excitement there. Nothing too much to get into today though.
Okay. Well, I will say that the last video that was revealed, the cinematics, the characters had different looks at times, and they looked really freaking awesome. I know everybody enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think that honestly, like the different outfits for Glitch and Void in that piece is like super exciting, right? Because like there's some really wild ones. I personally love the spiky helmet. Like I love the spiky helmet. I love spiky helmet and I love glitter t-shirt. Like I love like those two. Like those were like really rad. I wish I had that glitter t-shirt myself. But yeah, that is we knew as soon as we saw those designs, oh my god, everyone's gonna want these, right? And so yeah, we totally know that we are making some really rad stuff over here. But yeah, we'll get a lot more into all those specifics later. But the excitement warms our hearts genuinely.
Yes. And then Alpha is going to be happening soon, so really excited for all of that to happen and be able to see a bunch of stuff in game.
Hell yeah, it's really exciting times. The dev team is ready for everyone to jump in the game and tell us what their thoughts and to learn everything. So we are very excited to sit back and actually not be the ones testing it constantly and have other people come in and tell us what's great, what needs improvement, stuff like that. So it's truly exciting times to finally invite everybody in.
Awesome. Wait, can I ask one more question?
Let's do it.
Okay. So I got to play, and
Yep.
one of my biggest feedback that, because I'm a controller player, and I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this, so please tell me no if I'm not allowed to. But I'm a controller player, and one of my biggest feedback was that it felt not as like smooth or not as fast. Has there been any improvements or changes with controller?
Yeah, so I believe you did. I think you played the build before the alpha one, and
Yes.
the result of your feedback, like yourself, Drewski, and a bunch of other folks that played with controller, we essentially on the dev team we played controller only for like a month,
Oh
especially the
wow.
combat team, and we took all your feedback. We made a bunch of changes.
Ooh.
I'm curious. We're excited to hear your feedback so far. Drewski gave us a thumbs up. I know that he was pretty down on the feel before, and so we made a bunch of edits. And I'm curious to get your thoughts as well when you play the alpha.
Okay, awesome. Oh my gosh. I'm already so excited, but this just keeps rising. Sounds good. I
Yeah, no,
appreciate
no.
the
Thank you
info.
so much. Thank you so much for giving the feedback. Like there's like moments like that. Like this is why we're doing this, right? Like the game gets better. It's awesome to get folks like yourself to give feedback, and we're essentially making this game for for players, right? And so this is one of those moments where that's exciting about like building this game and building a service, right? Is that players tell us like what's going on, and then ultimately it powers our decision making to make the game better for you all.
Yep, that's awesome. And yes, I know you guys want to make the game better and awesome, but I appreciate you guys, I guess, listening to us. Even though that's like part of it, I still appreciate it.
Yeah, hell yeah, yeah. The dialogue is great.
Yes. Are we out of time?
We are out of time.
Ah.
We are out of time. But this has been so great. I mean, I very much appreciate you taking time to talk to us, and also playing the game, giving feedback. I mean, thank you all to all your viewers and your community if they're tuning in and stuff to come and hear me talk about marathon and just generally interested in marathon. It's been awesome to kind of do this finally.
That is good. I did make you kind of yap a lot just now, but yes, we appreciate all the information and the questions we got to ask.
So yeah, awesome. Well, yeah, we'll hopefully see you all online soon.
Sounds good. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Bye.